Hello, mamas, and welcome back to another episode of Motherhood is Ghetto. My name is Joy, and I know it's been a while since I've uploaded episodes. My uploading schedule is usually on the weekends, but it's for a good reason, and we'll get into that. But I wanted to start off with a quote, and this quote is just from me to you, and I feel like this quote actually does have something to do with the episode. It'll probably be the first and last time the quote of the day ends up being tied in with the episode, but the quote that I have for you guys today is, "Get it together." And I'll explain you'll understand by the end of this episode what I mean when I say that. So the title of this episode, I'm going to name it, Death is Ghetto. So on October 4th, my husband unexpectedly passed away. So I did not upload last weekend, this weekend that just passed, or any time last week, because I had just lost my husband. So I've talked about him in a few episodes prior to this one, but this episode in particular, I kind of want to just talk. I just want to talk to y'all, because I found that talking makes me feel better. And don't get me wrong, I'm still grieving. I'm still sad. And I don't know when I am going to upload this. And apologies if you're used to seeing visuals on Spotify. There's no visuals with this because I think this episode is going to be a bit longer than the normal 18 to 20 minutes. So I didn't want to fool with editing video and stuff like that. And I really just wanted y'all to hear my voice. So that way, anywhere you are, you can listen to it wherever and not have to worry about seeing any visuals. So this episode, I'm just going to be talking to you guys about how ghetto death is. And I know y'all already know that. But I kind of just want to talk through what I've been going through, this past week. So of course, we all know death is inevitable. We all have a 0% chance of getting out of this motherfucker alive. That's what my husband would always say. He would always say, "Ain't nobody gonna make it out this motherfucker alive," and that's true. And you can prepare yourself. You can do the things you got to do to prepare yourself for losing a loved one or a friend. But when it hits, that bitch hits. And that bitch got hands. just being honest. Like, I would not have imagined that I would lose my husband at this point in time in our lives. I always pictured, us being old, the kids being older. And also too, I always envisioned me going before him. That's just how my mind was working. There wasn't no real reason why I thought that, but I just always thought my husband would outlive me. He was older than me, but I always thought he'd outlive me. And, and it's definitely something that this loss that, I'm dealing with, and my children are dealing with, and his children are dealing with. I know, at least for me, I've never felt a loss like this before. The closest family members to me that I've ever lost, was my aunt, my mom's sister, and my grandpa. I lost both my grandpas, but the first one died when I was really young, my dad's dad. And my my mom's dad died when I was just a baby, so and then my mom's stepdad passed away on the same day that my son was born. My youngest son was born. So besides the death of my aunt and my grandfather, those deaths really didn't affect my immediate life. You know what I'm saying? Like, my aunt's death didn't affect me like it affected her children, and it didn't affect me like it affected her sister, so then when my grandfather passed away, it didn't affect me like it affected my grandmother, like, and his children. But this is the first time a death and a passing has truly turned my life upside down. And not really necessarily upside down in a bad way, just upside down in a way that I have to regroup. I have to rearrange things, schedules, gotta figure out how to live life without my partner upside down. And if I'm being honest, like, it sucks. This sucks. It sucks. I hate this for me. I hate this for my kids. I hate this for his kids. I hate this for everyone who loved him. I hate it. I hate it. And I think of myself, I know I am an empath, and I feel a lot of people's emotions. So on top of my own emotions, I'm feeling everyone else's hurt and everyone else's emotions. And this is just a roller coaster that, like, I just want off the ride. But I am taking it day by day. I've got some of the most amazing family and friends that are helping me get through this. Y'all, the grief journals, for those of y'all that send me grief journals, I have two now. I have two grief journals that were sent to me by family and friends, and I love them so much because one thing, each journal is different. They asking different questions in each journal, really thought-provoking, and really questions that will help me to process how I truly feel about losing my life partner. And my kids have journals too. And I kind of, y'all let me know what y'all think about this. If you follow me on Instagram at Motherhood is Ghetto, I kind of want to read their journals, but then again, I don't want to invade on their thoughts and their privacy, of what they've written about their dad in their journals. Like, I do want them to, feel secure in that their thoughts and what they think about this whole thing is private. But at the same time, I want to read it. I want to read and see and get in their heads of what they really think about this, because when I talk to them and I ask them, how are y'all feeling about this? Like, are y'all okay? They tell me they're all right. And it seems like they're more so just worried about me. But I don't know. I haven't looked in their journals or anything. I decided we were going to set aside time every night before bed to just journal and process our thoughts and do it as a family. So, but I want to talk about some of the things that I've experienced since my husband's sudden passing, and kind of just like in the same fashion that I was doing with motherhood, like kind of like break down these stigmas and these, myths and debunk some things because I'm finding throughout this grief process that it's not all like how it shows in the movies. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like that. So I kind of want to unpack that today. So for those of you guys who are listening that are not a close friend or family member, I was with my husband for 15 years, and we were married for 12 of those years. We recently got remarried on our anniversary, on our 12-year anniversary, which was March the 6th of this year. So yeah, he's been a part of my adult life. I met him when I was 20 years old. I met him the year I was turning 21. He was there for my 21st birthday party. He's been a huge part of my adult life so far. The 3 children that I have are with him, so he was definitely a major part and is a major part of who I am today. He makes up a great deal of that. So losing someone, being a widow at the age of 36 is something that I would have never imagined for myself. But at the same time, I know that there are countless women around the world who have suffered this same loss, if not in a worse manner. And I've been telling a couple of people that, yes, I'm sad that he's gone. Yes, I miss him. I wish he was here. But at the same time, I find comfort and peace in knowing that when he passed, he wasn't in any pain. I was right by his side until the very end. I find peace in the fact that, his life wasn't taken by the hands of another, or he didn't die tragically alone in an accident, or, he didn't die in a random police shooting, or he didn't die in a senseless, racist motivated terrorist attack or something like that. Like, I'm just grateful, and I find peace that there was 1,000 other ways he could have passed, worse ways that would have just broke my heart even more. But the fact that he died with his wife and his eldest daughter and his brother next to him, and he wasn't in any pain, all the pain was gone. For me, it brings me comfort. I don't know if any of y'all ever thought of it that way, but that's how I think of it, because, my husband was all about becoming a better man. And of course, my husband wasn't perfect. No one's husband is perfect, but he made strides every day to be a better man than he was the day before. And I don't think that I would have been able to take it or survive had, someone, maliciously or viciously took his life without regard to me and his children. So I do find comfort, and I thank God for that. Also, too, I was praying and meditating this morning, and I was like, God, thank you. 15 years you gave me on earth with this man. 15 years that you didn't have to give me, but you gave it to me. You gave me a father, a man for me to have my children with. You gave me a beautiful marriage. And I'm so appreciative. And I couldn't do nothing this morning but thank God. Like, thank you for what the time that you gave me with him. Just thank you. And I just, whenever like I said, I feel sad. I do feel sad. But there's just little things that I find peace and I find comfort in, with him being gone. So, I do have up days and down days. Some days I'm feeling really good, I'm positive. Some days I wake up with a knot in my stomach and just like the feeling of dread, and that it's really real. Like, it's sometimes it doesn't feel real. Sometimes it feels like I'm in a movie, or, I'll look up and he'll be there, and then the reality sets in and it just sucks. It sucks. And if you've experienced a loss like this, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. So this journey, I know this is going to be a lifelong journey of healing and processing this for me and our kids. And don't worry, I plan on going to counseling, all that stuff, because I know I need it, because I've never experienced this before in my life. And I'm having to make real life-changing decisions now, like today, that will affect the trajectory of mine and my kids' lives. So, yeah, like, it's just, death is ghetto. It's ghetto as fuck. But one thing that I know is, I know that my husband wouldn't want me to be sad. He knows that I'm sad. I tell him every day that I'm sad and I miss him. So I know he knows I'm sad, but he would want me to continue on with the plans we had, the goals we had, and everything. He wouldn't want me to stop. And somewhere deep down inside of me, I feel like he got a glimpse of what life would have been like had he survived what happened to him. And he saw that, I think that he saw that, what would become of my life had he survived. And knowing what we would have to go through for the aftercare and all that stuff, I feel in my heart that whatever he saw, he didn't want that for me. And I feel like whatever was shown or revealed to him when his soul began to make that journey into the afterlife, I feel like he thought it would be best, for me to continue on without him. Not forget him and not, just, move on the next day. But I feel in my heart that, somehow it was his decision. His decision to, go on and leave this physical world. Because I know he's still out there. I do believe in God. I believe God and the universe are one. I believe that there is life after death. I do not believe that death is the end. I believe that it's just a part of the physical life. And I do believe in my heart that I will see him again and our souls will cross paths again for sure. I know they will. But and those are just things that I find comfort in and I find peace in. And I pray and I meditate and I just want to be as connected to him as possible. However I can while I'm still here in this physical realm. So, but let's talk about some of the things, some of the questions I've been getting, and I don't mean to laugh because I know folks mean well, but sometimes some of these questions like kind of make me scratch my head. A lot of people have been asking me, what do I need? And I know that they're asking in a sense of, can I, do you need me to come clean your house? Do you need any food? Do you need any money? Do you need help with any, I know that they're asking for me to give a response, something like that, like to tell them oh, I need food, like the kids need costumes. I know that that's what they're getting at. But honestly, I don't need anything in this world but my husband and my kids. That's what I need. And that's the short answer to that question. I need something that y'all can't give me. Yes, the groceries, the flowers, the money, the everything is helpful, and I appreciate it so much, y'all. Like I had to get on live on my Facebook page the other day because words cannot express how appreciative I am of the outpouring of love and support that has been given to me and our kids. Like, I appreciate that. But just know that what I really need and what I really want is my husband. So I think for me, I would much rather you just put yourself in my shoes. And then once you do that, you'll know exactly what I need. And I mean that wholeheartedly, because I've gotten a few people tell me, like, I can't imagine what you're going through. But you can. You can. I know you can. Just think of a person in your life right now that if you lost them, it would literally change your life and how you do things on a day-to-day basis forever. Just think of that person. And it doesn't even have to be a spouse. It could be a child. It could be a parent. It could be anyone in your life that would have a major impact on that said life if they were no longer here. Just think about it. So now you know how I feel. And then just think about what you would want during that time. What would you want and need during the darkest time of your life, probably, now that you've put yourself in my shoes? And I can tell you honestly, like I said, like the outpouring of love and support, I feel the prayers and I feel the love and I feel the prayers for strength being sent my way and protection over me and my kids. Like, I feel all that. And that's honestly what I need. Like, I need y'all's prayers. I need y'all's love. If you've been through a similar situation, send me things, resources, what helped you. Send me YouTube videos to watch. I've been doing that too. I've been watching TED Talks from widows who are sharing their stories. The only thing that I can't get with yet, though, excuse me, is I've seen a lot of videos where the widows have moved on and remarried and stuff. With kudos for them, okay? Like, I ain't mad or hating on that at all, but at this point in time, I can't even fathom and see myself doing that. Maybe one day, I don't even know. But I know as of today, this day, that's not even something that I even want to consider. Like, I don't want anybody touching me, like nothing, like but my husband. So, but I've been watching YouTube videos, so it's for the fact that, people know that have never suffered a loss like this before, help me grieve through it. Help me to figure out a way to make this grieving process as easy as it can be, if it can be. I don't even know if it's going to be easy. And I don't even know if I know there's not a wrong way to grieve, but I don't even know if I'm doing it all the way right. Like sometimes I feel like I should be sadder and sometimes I feel like I should be crying more, but it's like, I can't be. Like, I got to spend 15 years of my 36 years on earth with this gorgeous man, this man that loved me to the moon and back, like who loved his children, and this man who would literally die for us. Like, I got to spend 15 years with him. And I can't be mad at that. I can't be mad and I can't be sad because I got to see a side of him that a lot of people weren't privy to. Like, and I feel honored for that. Like, like, I feel like such a queen. I've lost my king, like, but I feel like such a queen because he chose me. You know, he chose to marry me and spend the rest of his life with me. And that's exactly what he did. So I'm happy. I'm happy that God saw it fit to bring us together. Like, but sometimes I do. Sometimes I feel like I'm not crying enough or I'm smiling too much. But no, like, grief hits different for everybody. And honestly, like, I feel like just from the help that I've gotten so far with, and again, shout out to my family and friends who send me the grief journals, like, even that's helped. Like I said, the questions that they ask in those grief journals that are really thought provoking and make you ponder, like, like, and I can just pour my heart out, you know, like, I love it. I love it. And, I kind of lost my train of thought, y'all. Sorry. But I just, you know, I'm just glad that I have this support system. I'm glad that I have the people that I have around me, to help me get through this. That's really all I can say. And I would say to give you guys any advice, if you have a friend or family member that should happen to go through this in the future, don't ask them what they need. Just put yourself in their shoes and think about the things that you would need. And then just be there. Just show up. Just be there for them. To help them. And if you know the person real well, and you know that, you know right off the top what they need during their difficult time, then just be there for them. And if you're, if you're not near and all you can do is send condolences and prayers, then just do that. Like, that's good and well enough. Because I think that sometimes people think that they have to, like, do all these things, like, oh my God, what do you need? Like, you can call me. I'll come over anytime if you just want to talk. And it's like, sometimes, like, I was writing in my journal last night, and I think one of the questions was, what do you wish that you could tell people, like, if without any reserve? And the main thing that I wish that I could tell people is that I feel lonely. Not in a sense where, like, because my kids are all here and, my family's all around me. I got friends and stuff like that. But it's a different type of lonely. Even when I'm out in the city, I can be in crowded rooms, crowded stores, stuff like that, and I still feel lonely. But I don't want to be telling everybody that, because I don't want them to think that there's something, like, I'm depressed or there's something wrong with me mentally, or I'm, on the brink of going off the deep end. Like, it's not that type of lonely. And I really can't describe the type of lonely that I'm referring to. It's just, it's not like a lonely, like, you live by yourself lonely. And it's not like a lonely where, like, you're seeking love or affection from someone lonely, like you've been single for 5 years and, you don't have anyone to love on you. Like, it's not that kind of lonely. It's a lonely, like, I don't have my partner anymore. It's not even a breakup lonely. Like, when you break up with someone, you kind of feel lonely, because it's not even that type of, like, it's one that I really can't describe, but I know it's loneliness. And but I don't want to tell when people ask me, how do you feel? How are you feeling? I want to say I feel lonely, but I don't want them to say, like, I don't want it to raise any alarms, because it's really not like that. I'm not depressed. I know what depression is. My dad has suffered from depression for years, so I know what it is. And I know that I'm not that. Um, so, but it's just one of those things that I wish I can say. And then also too, when I tell people I'm lonely, I don't want people to be like, well, do you want me to come over? Do you want some company? Because no, that's not what I want either. I don't want anyone to think that, you know, I need someone here, because honestly, I don't. Um, and yeah, it's just a different type of lonely that it's indescribable. Like I said, and if you've been through a similar loss, then you know what I'm talking about. Um, but I want to also talk a little bit about our children, um, because each of them, all five of them, are all processing this in their own way. Um, and this was a gut punch to us all, especially to them, because any kid looks at their dad like a superhero. They're invincible. You know, I know that's how I saw my dad when I was little. He was just, this superhero, and nothing bad could happen to him. And no matter what happened to him when he was away, he'd always come home. So I know that my kids are going through something. And I know that they're being strong and they're staying strong. But I often, I wonder, how this is going to affect their lives moving forward. And I worry about that. And I pray for them. And as their mother, it's like, my thought is, how can I help my kids get through this? Like, how can I help them to grieve for their dad in the healthiest way possible? And at this point, I'm not even thinking about me. I'm more concerned with them because this is really impactful and it's really traumatizing, and I'm wholeheartedly worried about them. And don't get me wrong, I am taking care of myself. And I think a lot of taking care of myself too means, I know I'm supposed to eat, but I don't force myself to eat if I don't feel like eating, because I feel like that's not taking care of me. I feel like running and hiding and not crying in front of my kids is not taking care of myself. So I cry in front of my kids. Like, I tell them it's okay to cry on the occasions when I am explaining exactly what happened with my husband. I don't do it in another room. Like, they need to hear it all, because they witnessed it with their eyes, but they need to hear it too, because this was their dad. Like, and they're gonna hear a whole lot of other bullshit about their dad. So they might as well, all I'm saying is that I'm not hiding anything from them. And that in turn helps me to take care of myself, because I don't hold anything back, and I don't feel like I need to hold anything back, which makes me feel better. But, and this podcast might be a little choppy because I'm having to stop and like cough and stuff, drink water. So, it may sound a little bit choppy, but that's okay. We're going to keep going with it. Keep rolling. But yeah, it's just death. Like I said, it's inevitable. It's going to happen to all of us. Um, but when I said in the beginning, like, get it together, what I mean by that and what I want to share with you guys before I go is that me and my husband made a choice at the beginning of this year to get it together. And what I mean by that is all of the indifferences we had, all of the hurt and trauma we might have caused each other, all the bad memories, we decided to put all that in the past and just get rid of it all and focus on being a better husband and wife to each other, and focus on loving each other and loving on our kids. We made that decision at the beginning of this year, not knowing, what this year would bring. But we made a choice and we made a promise to ourselves and God that we were going to commit to each other. If there was an issue, we were going to talk it out. We weren't going to yell, fight, fuss. We were really going to get to the root of whatever the issue was, whatever the problem was, and really work it out, because we made a decision that this is forever. Like, we're not talking about divorce anymore. We're not doing any of that stuff. We're together forever. So at the beginning of this year, we made that promise to each other. And when I tell y'all, like, it has been an amazing 10 months with this man. Like, I think that the last 10 months, like, have been one of the best, like, that I can remember. I know we've had great moments and great times and stuff, but just the time that we spent talking with one another, having long conversations, and really loving on each other, like, that is something that I'll always cherish and always be grateful for. But we made that decision to get it together this year. And really focus on our foundation and our legacy. And I am grateful, and I've told this to anybody who would listen to me. I am so grateful that me and my husband do not have any unfinished business. There were no words left unspoken between us. My husband knew exactly how much I loved him because I told him on a daily basis. And he told me too on a daily basis how much he loved me. And I don't feel like, I think in one of my journals it asked me, is there something I wish I could have said to him? Or is there something, if he could hear me, what would I say to him? I'm like, but I wrote in my journal, like, no, there's nothing that I need to say because he knew it all already. There wasn't a doubt in his mind how I felt about him. And when I say get it together, that's what I mean, y'all. If you have something that's worth saving and worth fighting for, get it together. If you have a relationship like with a spouse, an estranged child, a friendship that fell by the wayside because of a simple misunderstanding or anything like that, get it together. And I mean get it together now, because we don't know when our time is up here on this earth. We have no idea. And you don't want those feelings of those shoulda, coulda, woulda feelings, or those I wish I woulda, made amends, or I wish, we could have worked out our differences before they passed. Like, you don't want those feelings. And I thank God I don't have any of those feelings. I thank God I don't have any survivor's guilt. I don't have any negative feelings about our last conversation. I'm grateful that my heart and his heart was so full at the time that he passed, and that there was nothing even left to be said. We put it all on the table for each other. And that's another thing that I find peace and comfort in. So get it together, y'all. Get it together, like right now, if you can. If it's a situation where like it's definitely not healthy for you and you need to get out, by all means get out, because you need to get it together for yourself too, because you don't know how long you have on this earth. And if you love yourself, then, and it's a situation where it's not serving you and there's no love there and you need to remove yourself, by all means do that, because that's a part of it too, saving yourself. But if it's something like my situation where, you know, you're with someone and you love them and you want to make a commitment, and that person would like to make a commitment too, to really working things out and resolving past hurt and trauma and working through it together, then save it. Save it, y'all. I'm begging you, save it. Because I'm so glad I did with my husband. And I'm glad that we saved our marriage. And I'm glad that we stayed married. So, before I go, I want to share with you guys the last moments that we had together. Because my whole hope with this episode is to help someone who may be going through the same thing I'm going through. Either if they're going through it now or may go through it in the future. Just know that this shit is ghetto and it's gonna hurt, but you will get through it. You will be able to move forward. But I want to leave it on a high note, and I want to share with you guys our last night together. It was a Sunday night, and I had to go to work the next day, or would have had to go to work the next day, Monday morning. And he wanted me to watch this movie with him. It's called 3,000 Years of Longing, I believe, with Idris Elba. He's a jinn that's lived over 3,000 years, and he's telling stories to this lady who, if you don't know what a jinn is, it's kind of like a genie, like a sort of genie in a lamp or whatever. So he's telling these stories of how he was in love with Queen Sheba, and how King Solomon like took Queen Sheba away from him, and then all these different times in his lifetime where he was in love with different women during different time periods, and how, you know, it was a love story basically. And I would always tell him, like, you love chick flicks. I don't like chick flicks. I don't usually like to watch like love story movies and stuff. But he was like, come watch this movie with me. So I was like, okay, you know, I'll watch the movie. So we sat there in the garage, cause that's where, you know, we like to watch our bootleg movies at. So we're sitting in the garage and, you know, we're watching the movie together, you know, and then after the movie ends, I say, you know, you're the only one that can, you know, you're the only one that can make me watch a chick flick, right? And he's like, I know. And so we go upstairs after the movie and lay down. And I started to tell him, you know, like, cause you know, through my prayers and stuff up until that day, there was, you know, my spirit team had been asking me, Joy, what'll truly make you happy? Like, what is the one thing that'll make you happy? And I was telling him about that when I was praying, and I told him that the number one answer to my question is being with you guys, you and the kids, every day, without restriction, without, you know, me having to go to work or ask somebody for PTO, for time off to spend with you guys. I want to be free to be with you guys and love on you guys every day of my life. Like, And I told him, like, I want to be able to be here with you every day and love you and love on you and love the kids, like, and do things with you guys, go on trips, and just, I want that freedom. I want that freedom to be with y'all and love on y'all how I want to, without having to worry about a job or anything like that. And that was our last conversation that we had. So, like I said, I can't even, when the times when I do feel sad, I really can't be that sad, because he knew exactly how I felt about him. I told him daily that I loved him. I would text him out of the blue and tell him how much I loved him. I'd be sliding in his DMs telling him, you know, how sexy he is and I love him, like, just all that stuff. He never had to question it. And I'm glad. I'm glad there was nothing left unsaid when he left this earth. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and land the plane here. Thank you so much for listening. And I promise y'all I'll be okay. I will. This is going to be a hard thing to get through, and I know I got a long road ahead of me, but I've got a great family and great friends that are praying for me and are here to stand in the gap for me. And I truly appreciate it. I truly, truly appreciate every last person. And even if you're listening, if you don't know me personally and you're listening to this, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. And yeah, as I said, I don't know when I'm going to upload this. I'm not sure, but the podcast is not going to stop, because my husband loved my podcast. So I'm going to keep doing it, because motherhood is still ghetto. It truly is. But I just, one of the things that I know and that we all know is that tomorrow is not promised. So I wanted to record this while it was on my heart and wanted to share this with you guys. So I hope you all have a great day and a great week ahead. And remember, get it together. Until next time, mamas.